Hi, Roy here, Yard of Random Books. Just thought I'd throw on a quick book haul video. So without any more ado, books that have come my way today from various sources, which isn't unusual. When it comes to books, I'm like Magnetic Man walking through a scrapyard. They sort of appear around me. So in the post, a Sexton Blake thriller from the 60s. Let's see, 1965. Here with the third month's issues of the new series of the Evergreen Sexton Blake Library. So Sexton Blake, for those who don't know, a detective whose first story appeared in the 1890s, revitalised once again in the 60s with these rather racy books. Sorry I've got to kill you, Blake, said the voice, but no hard feelings. Remember what I said, love thy killer, eh? Next year I'll come back and lay a wreath on your grave. The Witches of Notting Hill. It had all begun on Midsummer Night with what looked like a ghastly ritual murder of inhuman savagery. But the killer was no depraved monster thirsting for sacrifice. There was method in his madness. £1 million worth of reasons by two men and a woman had to meet. Sudden violent death. Not sure that last sentence makes sense, but anyway, crazy cover, promising all sorts of mayhem. Sexton Blake, old school Sexton Blake fans weren't necessarily on board with these, and I see the intro's got a bit of an explanation that they're going to bring out some reprints as well from the earlier series. Meanwhile, here's this. So Sexton Blake. Also in the post, The Mystery of the Motorway, Robert Martin. This will be mid-60s as well, because not 1961. Okay, it's a birth year book for me. Remembering the discussions initiated by Criminoli about how trash fiction cashes in on things that are in the news. The creation of the M1 motorway is the touchstone for this. So we have a motorway based thriller. That's why I've bought it. And once upon a time it was a school prize. The County Council of Dumfries Education Committee at Brown Hall School. Prize awarded to Jan McDougall for progress. What could be more progressive than the initiation of the motorway system in the United Kingdom? So looking forward to that, some motorway madness. Then wandered into town, went round the charity shops. Not always a great rewarding process these days, but better than usual for me. £1.50 from the YMCA, The PreRaphaelite Dream by William Gaunt. So it's a mid-40s reprint society book about the Pre-Raphaelites with these lovely sort of sepia coloured pictures, and from the chapter titles looks like a complete history of the Pre-Raphaelite artists and what they got up to. So yeah, nice one. The PreRaphaelite Dream. Same shop. Andrew Neiderman. Andrew Neiderman, who, as I understand it, writes V.C. Andrews books as part of the continuation of the Andrews franchise. But here's one under his own name. Someone's watching. Wherever you run, wherever you hide, someone's watching. In the shadows, an unseen terror lurks. So a mid-length, 300-page horror thriller. Looks pretty interesting. Something about people trapped in an empty hotel. Awesome. And another one, a British Library collection. Now I've gone on about the Tales of the Weird. Another one of their series is to do with science fiction. So here we have Beyond Time, Classic Tales of Time Unwound, edited by Mike Ashley, science fiction classics. So I'm sure that's good. I like time travel stories. Looks like a whole bunch of short stories on that theme, which will be, yeah, that's got to be good. So Beyond Time and Feminist Literary Theory, Withdrawn, from the University of Greenwich. Covered, it's super withdrawn. There's withdrawn stamps all over it. So if anyone's watching from the University of Greenwich Library Service, it's a legitimate purchase. So it's a Cambridge companion. I've got a lot of these as part of my studying. They've always got some interesting essays in them, so glad to pick that up for £1.50. And talking of libraries, I also went to Edge Hill Library, where I got the Victorian Supernatural. The Victorians were haunted by the supernatural, by ghosts and fairies, table rappings and telepathic encounters, occult religions and the idea of reincarnation, visions of the other world and a reality beyond the everyday. The Victorian Supernatural explores the sources of these beliefs in their literary, historical and cultural contexts. So, collection of essays, sure that's going to be helpful from a dissertation. Dropping books everywhere. And finally, also from the library, Enid Blyton and the Mystery of Children's Literature, an academic book about Enid Blyton. Got an idea coming up for a video to do with Enid Blyton, so thought getting an academic perspective on her would be good. And there's some cool chapter titles leading up to conclusion. Is Blyton bad for you? We need to know. Nearly forgot, perhaps best of all, also in the post, a Euromance novel. So I've managed to collect 8 out of the 12 of these. This is the Belgium entry called The Bruges Engagement by Madeleine Kerr. Jan Bridel is to women what a flame is to moths. Don't flutter round him. You'll get your pretty little wings singed before you know where you are. Were all Belgian businessmen as dangerously attractive? So we will find out. Looks like a good one. Hoping to get all of these as soon as I can, and I'll do a proper post about the whole lot once I've amassed them. So the Bruges Engagement, and also to mention, not a book, more of a uncanny encounter. So going around the charity shops in Ormskirk, not a place known for its stylish or distinctive dressers, I saw the coolest man ever. So the coolest man ever was an old guy wearing a pinstripe suit, carrying a cane, wearing shades, had a sort of little beard, and is wearing a flat-crowned fedora, a bit like the sort of hat Bob Dylan wears sometimes. And I just thought, you know, this guy looks kind of amazing. Perhaps he's the devil. Perhaps he could offer me a bargain for my soul. But I didn't engage him in conversation, so who knows. I mentioned this on Discord, and Michelle of Michelle's Melancholia saw the same guy in a street in Edinburgh about an hour or so later. So if you saw the coolest guy in the world on this day, the 14th of September 2022, put it in the comments, and maybe we'll find out who he is and what his intentions are for humanity.